to verify if any metal in oil. Yep, I think there's like a little bit.
Customer said he thought he could fix it himself and made this absolute mess. The mechanic thinks they tried to use drywall mud.
Customer states, handle's funny going around corners. Check alignment. Let's see, well, that'll do it right there. Yeah, that'll do it right there.
Customer states, I feel like the engine is going to jump out of the car, and boy were they right.
Customer states that there's a knocking noise going over bumps. I wonder if that's got something to do with having a lowering spring only on one side, held in with a piece of tyre.
Customer states it turned off on the highway after a loud popping noise, and now it runs bad. It's not every day you can see the whole rod sticking out of the block and pan after they drove it in.
Alright, so I just saw that, and I was like, oh, let me check the other side. Holy Oh yeah, can't forget the kicker of why this car came in. You can't shut the wipers off. Another quality used vehicle.
After destroying the original engine by not doing oil changes, the customer swapped in a replacement, only to discover it previously belonged to someone else who also wasn't a fan of oil maintenance.
Customer wanted me to replace their wiper blades because they work like crap. So you can kind of see. Don't seem to work real good, huh? Well, thinking new wiper blades, newer car, what's going on? Oh, I see. You gotta take those off. That helps.
This drove in. It's a Berlingo, petrol, TU engine. Yeah, that's the clutch. It made an horrendous noise, but drove in. And the worst thing is, that's the box.
Customer states the car doesn't want to move and has been making some weird metallic noises.
That is not supposed to look like that.
Customer states, after you worked on my vehicle 2 years ago, my AC stopped working. Well, I think I found out why.
Customer states their steering wheel locks up when driving and the dash lights up too. They had been driving it like this for a whole week before bringing it in, which again just goes to show how scary it is that we share the road with people like this.
It's a really weird window. Oh shit, there's a window. Oh, we got double-sided snakes!
Customer states, when I start it, it rattles.
Start! Oh yeah, that be rattling. You can see that one's loose. 3 of them broke off in the crank. So we gotta see if we can save the crank.
You know the car's gross when it's literally got fungus on the carpet. And yes, those little puffs of smoke are more spores coming out of them.
So it's not very often we have a moment. Well, I took this bearing off. Inner race fell out, the bearings fell out, and as you can see, that's what's left. This thing must have been squealing its nuts off. Cool.
I needed to further encapsulate on this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, spraying foam. I mean, words just can't describe.
This customer came in because their exhaust fell off and they wanted it replaced. They didn't want anything done to their tinfoil repaired headlight and pieces of deer left in the bumper.
If you're disassembling an engine and you're trying to get your pistons out but you can't quite reach it and you don't want to turn the crank, all you have to do is just remove that section and then that piston should come right out.
Not only does this car have cats, It also has a rabbit. Hi, little buddy.
Customer states my truck went into limp mode while I was hauling, and unfortunately for them, this is what was in their transmission pan.
So I just pulled the cabin air filter out of this truck. It goes back there, right? So first of all, that's the kind of person we're dealing with in this car. So that's what it smells like. You want to explain to me how a fish ended up in the cabin air filter?
If you have a newer Chevy Suburban, Tahoe, Yukon, etc., and you occasionally have poor heater performance on your driver or passenger side, prepare for your vehicle to look like this.
Mechanics saw this while on the road. Either that shock is completely destroyed, or there's a big bump in that tire.
Creamy.
God, yo. Oh, look at the subframe bolt. Oh, man. Oh, man. What'd this thing do? Piss off a Decepticon?
This vehicle came in with a biohazard sticker. The mechanic really hopes it was soda. Some mice chewed into this customer's fuel line. They apparently drove it 3 minutes down the road to the shop and lost over half a tank of gas.
Yo, I love working on cars from other shops. Yo, I had my car at Tires Plus or Tires Choice or something. They took them 4 times to do the alignment. They couldn't get it right. Yeah, probably because the nuts aren't even. Bro, what the? He's like, oh, I got a weird noise in the front. Yeah, the dude.
So I have this sinking feeling that there's a very good reason why this wheel was on the back of the car and not the front of the car, because somebody did the best they could.
Customer burned out his clutch in only 32,000 miles in their 2022 Tacoma.
So we can self-tap our rock light straight through the sheet metal so the pointy end pokes out in the bed. That's cool. We can secure our wires ourselves. Not terrible. I mean, I would have gone through the frame, but that's okay. What bothered me though is when they started doing their own exhaust work here, it came up a little short, and it's also pulling the drive shaft almost completely out of the transmission. Oh man. It's alright though, it's here for a balance and rotate. Let's get it done.
Customer states. Well, I'm customer.
The mechanic told his customer that they needed this axle replaced a whole year ago.
Good side. Bad side. Good side. Bad side. Good side. Bad side. Banana.
So guess what happens when the cleaner empties the drainer? And I had to rush and grab it, hence the face. That wall, luckily I've cleaned the van, the truck, the floor, that wall, that toolbox, we've cleaned it, it got curt, all of there. Yeah.
The mechanic was running a test on this truck after completing some work when they heard a loud bang that they thought was a rubbish truck. As you can see, it was actually the fan exploding and hitting the radiator. Thankfully, it shut off from a coolant level sensor.
Customer states, transmission won't shift properly. Technician states, he is the customer. I am screwed.
This customer was towing his Jeep behind an RV. They apparently didn't notice it was missing a wheel until a driver flagged him down.
Make sure when you put your carpet back down, you protect the floors. Proper protection is always necessary in between your carpet and your flooring. So
Looks like the squirrels are now trying to bribe the mechanics to leaving their engine bay stashes alone.
It ate through the metal.
That's bad.
This is easily the most insane steering wheel setup I've ever seen roll into a shop. I literally have no idea what's even going on here. Maybe it's built for a disabled driver, but I still think the wooden center probably isn't the best choice.
So you see, bearings are supposed to, spin when you turn them, not... Yeah.
Customer states that they only just changed the cabin filter.
Customer states passenger sun visor just fell off. Yeah, I'm sure it did, buddy.
Customer states there's a thumping noise from the front right wheel.
Your front tires are pretty dry rotted, about on the wear bars. Your rear tires, plenty of life left. There's nothing going on the inside there. I don't even understand how it's still good. You got nice smooth traction control.
This older Silverado had intermittent dash lights, so the mechanic was checking some of the fuses when he found this.
So this is the oil pan. Just a heads up, there should not be that. But also,
it wasn't running when we got it. It was attached to this, and now there is a hole in the motor. You shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be able to see the light through there.
Customer states he hit a stick. No kidding. Luckily it didn't puncture the gas tank, but it did destroy a heat shield and broke the carrier bearing. Customer states my dash looks like the Matrix.
That's what it's supposed to look like. That's what it looks like. Not very smooth. And that's a bit as well.
(2012) Chrysler Town and Country. Customer states belt broke, really bad oil leak. Please check and advise. Well, there's what's left of the belt. What's really cool is there's the rest of the belt.
Customer had their Hyundai towed in because the engine was making weird sounds. He then proceeded to attempt to replace the timing chain himself, and after he was done installing it, this happened. Every single rocker was like this. This customer went out and bought a brand new Escalade and then proceeded to do this absolutely horrific underglow job themselves, only to bring it into the shop complaining about how only one side is working.
This is a good one. Missing owner's manual. Owners may be confused as to the safe use and operation of the vehicle, increasing the risk of injury in a crash. Oh, gotta love it.
That's got it.
Who needs thrust bearings?
A customer sent in this video saying they slipped off a dirt road and slightly bumped the front, and now it's leaking heavily. The mechanic told them to immediately shut it off and to not run it again, and the customer never responded.
Customer states, my 2001 Nissan Frontier sounds crunchy when you put it in four-wheel drive.
Customer, you're the most right customer I've ever had.
The mechanic working on this VQ engine has done a fair few of the timing chains, but said this is the worst they've seen, and when they took the front cover off, they had found it had jump timing by around 5 teeth. Customer states there's a noise coming from the front passenger side when hitting bumps.
So, Peugeot wet belts. They're a good technology. They knew what they was doing. Just another way to make you buy an engine. Quality.
Okay, so Monday morning, 8 a.m. customer states, everything you need to do with my tires is in the little bag in the front. Okay. And, okay.
This is what was found in a 1978 Porsche's fuel tank after sitting for the last 25 years.
Fire in the hole!
Customer states the engine just shut off while on the highway.
The piston laying sideways. Oh, Jesus.
So I think I figured out why this Hyundai Elantra was so cheap. I didn't want to do one of those, so we're gonna do the right thing and just pretend we didn't see that.
The mechanic went to put some air into the spare tyre and was greeted by this brush-tailed possum staring back at them. Somehow this car didn't catch on fire after the customer drove it in after noticing a fuel puddle underneath their car.
So customer filled his oil up with water, trying to fill up his antifreeze. That's going to be interesting. The worst thing is he did it, went back the next day, filled it up some more. Genius.
Mechanics states they don't even want to know what this stuff is and that it's everywhere, and in some places it's built up and even has a yellowish tinge.
My brother in Christ, I just took the rotor off. My guy. Where the bearing? Dog.
Customer states, the steering wheel jerks to the left without warning while driving down the road.
Customer, I'd say you're right again.
Someone didn't replace the one-time use transmission mount bolt in this Dodge ProMaster, causing it to snap, and eventually the other mount bolt snapped from the extra weight too.
Sometimes you get what you pay for, Dorman, they make okay products, I've heard bad things, good things. You get lug nuts and, I think they forgot to do something on that. What do you think? Yup, good old Dorman.
Customer states. My 2020 Ford Explorer ain't got no power. I was told it needs a DPF sensor. What you think?
Customer, you are wrong.
I guess Mercedes is hoping whoever's trying to steal this car has epilepsy as a last resort anti-theft deterrent.
Alrighty, got this Virginian in here, customer stated, got no axles. Speed sensor connector broke in.
Som jo gav koncert i Danmark i sidste uge. Og tidligere i dag, der er jo det, der bekræftet, at hun er så optaget af fremad.
Customer states there's a metallic noise coming from underneath the truck and drove 2 hours just for the mechanic to find 2 bottles of de-icer under the seat.
So here's one you don't hear every day. Mitsubishi Outlander with a suspension noise. Customer says it sounds like a clown. Now see if you can hear this.
Customer states their vehicle has an intermittent no crank, no start. Thankfully, this vehicle was bought off the customer by the junkyard because of the insane rust. The worker lifted it up with the loader to take some parts off it, and as you can see, it folded in half. I guess they didn't use enough structural spray foam on it.
Wow. Oh. Wow.
Of zip tying a bar of soap. This is a bar of soap onto an AC line. Here. What's the advantage of the bar of soap? Is there a trick I don't know about? Is this something that is practiced elsewhere? I gotta know. Like, what is the point?
Customer states my blower motor sounds like a foghorn. I have no reason to argue with that statement.
This trucker came off a major highway and into a truck stop without realizing that both the inner and outer tires had been completely shredded.
They wasn't loose this morning. I mean, at least from what I could tell, they wasn't loose.
Well, it's not like I don't think the lug nuts backed off. I think the back plates broke.
The whole axle. The whole thing.
This customer got tyres at another shop and they said their camber issue was due to a bent rotor. Not quite.
Alright. It's a shot in the dark, but I think they might need a wheel bearing. And a spindle and a brake rotor and a caliper. I bet it ain't that bracket. Alright. Also, when I first got underneath the truck, I found a wheel bearing roller on the ground under it. So I was like, oh, this is gonna go well.
How many times do you have to put the wrong type of fuel in before Brandon here gets the memo?
Sometimes for shits and giggles, I like to just check out the recall data on old Mazdas and other cars. We've got a list here. The plastic emblem in the steering wheel center may shatter during airbag deployment. Factory Claymore.
Alright, let's see what's in here. We ain't seen it yet. Oh my lordy. The freaking
Oh my lord. That's freaking rough, man. F-150. Holy mackerel.
This failing horn might need to add a bit more fibre into its diet. Mechanic's co-worker just bought a used Jeep from a dealer who had apparently just replaced the camshafts. It started clattering and smoking 3 days later, and this was the oil that came out.
Science. Science.
So I did you a favor, I put 1540 in there.
So we got this Hyundai Azera in today. They're complaining about a brake noise. They do not have the right size pad, and some genius thought that would take up the space, which technically it does. I'll give it to them, but yeah, now it's digging in the rotor.
25 Toyota Camry hybrid, right? Customer states, yo, can you take a look at my car? There's a warning on the dash. I was like, oh, what's it say? He's like, oh, it says, like, check the dealer or service maintenance or something. It's like, okay, let me take a look at it. Bro.
Of all the most random things we've seen in a customer's car, this might just take the cake for being the weirdest.
So, customer said to me, why are you filling my car? Because, well, I can't check your back seats. Well, do the work on it anyway. This is the state of the car. And I'm like, I'm not moaning, but come on. Boot's the same. All down there's the same.
This $220,000 G-Wagon got completely killed by the audio control unit. So it got dropped off on my bay. It won't start, won't shift. Dash is freaking out. I scan it, and most of the fault codes relate to the powertrain CAN bus communication. So I go to the powertrain CAN bus and I unplug one by the other. I found this one to have weird voltages, so I unplug it and the car starts and runs just fine. No issues at all. Boom. So I'm looking at the wiring diagram, trying to figure out what it is, because I don't have any fault codes anymore on the powertrain. I just have an audio fault code, and it came back to this. So this is the control unit for the audio, and I believe it's on the powertrain CAN bus, because these cars have like fake engine noise piped through the speakers, so it needs to know if you're revving it to pipe in more noise. And that turned this thing into a total brick.
This Toyota Auris got towed in after it blew up in a nearby tunnel. Everything in the bucket was what fell out of the engine when removing the skid plate.
This episode of People Who Own Cars. Some idiot redneck this whole hitch, and I went to go put on my beer in this bar. They ain't supposed to be there, so I've been hacking at it, but we're about to get a torch. Ain't something ain't gonna stay there because liquid. So
you know, Honda is so cool. They're so innovative. They got some really cool stuff going on. Like, look at this. You ever seen a two-piece rotor before? Yeah, that's a major innovation right there.
Customer repaired their air intake like this and came into the shop asking why it wouldn't hold boost pressure. They then also declined the repairs.
Customer wanted us to check out his rock lights that he did not want us to install for him. Started to see this bundle, and looks like he brought it and tied it to a radius arm. Where are we going with this? Across the bushing of the radius arm? Across the transmission cross member? Wants us to diag while they will not come on. Alright, let's do this.
A tow truck was towing this customer's RV, and as you can see was dragging the hitch receiver, which not only caused it to pack with dirt, but also destroyed the wiring and caused a fire hazard.
So you follow the exhaust and it goes above the fuel tank. That's a new one. Might just be me, but I can't say I've ever seen that before.
Alright guys, make sure you pull your transfer case vent hose off before you remove your transfer case.
Customer states they're hearing a loud clanking noise when they drive. Who doesn't love getting free tools while on a job?
2018 2500 doing a transfer case because it had a porcupine in it.